last home game here and what they've accomplished, and being able to keep a 21-game win streak here and the record at home that they've been here, what they've been able to do, and tremendous accomplishment. Them for tying the record today for most wins in a career, 48 going into that, which is another great accomplishment by them. We have a couple more games left, hopefully we can add to that. But just great accomplishment by them, and it was their day. It was about the seniors and everything that went on there. So from that standpoint, very happy for them. Very proud of our team. It started out, of course, we had a great return and fumble, the daggone opening kickoff. And like I said, I knew this team would be ready to play. This team is a very well-coached football team. They're used to winning. They come down and convert a couple of third downs, and we go back and score, and then they come back and score again, and we got control of the game a little bit. Got some things going, but this is a very good team. They're very well coached, and hats off to them. But again, we got to continue to grow on some things. I missed a short yardage down on the goal line, missed a block, and got to get that cleared up. But other than that, we played pretty well, good on third downs, ran the ball well, had a good mixture, one field position, got turnovers. Everything was pretty good in that regard. So look at the film, but get ready to get down and play the Gators next week, and hopefully wind this regular season up and get healed up and get ready for a bowl game. But very proud of the guys, the way they competed, what they're doing, and look forward to this week. Question?
Coach, talk a little about Sean McGuire and Kermit's tempo and everything.
I mean, the throws and the reads were going that way, and Sean stood in there. And I'll tell you what, the one throw he made for a touchdown was a hot read off the backside. He knew the blitz was going to get there. Still hot on the backside. He knew he had a chance to make a big play on the front side. They took his first options away, and he went to number 3 to Kermit on that drag, and took a shot, made a throw, and scored a touchdown, which was a big, because that was right after a turnover on a third down in the red zone, which is very critical. I mean, he played really well. They seemed to have a good hookup, but within 15, we didn't get as many balls to Bobo, but that's just the design of what happened on their defense. Didn't get the ball there, but I'm very proud of those guys and what they did there. They're hooking up very well.
How did Sean come out of that game? He took some shots.
He's fine. Like a football player.
He seems to do a real good job of staying in there to the last.
Oh, he does. He does. Sometimes, like I say, I wish he'd get rid of it just a hair quicker. I tell him every now and then. But he does. He tries to make plays, but played an outstanding game, made good decisions for the day, threw the ball well on third down, got the ball down the field well, did a nice job.
Jimbo, you talked about playing the Gators next week. Can you talk about the importance of the game going down there, a rival game, trying to upset them, being a better placement maybe for your bowl prediction? Talk about what all this means next week.
Well, you just about did, so.
I want you to say, Jimbo, I want you to say.
No, you're right. All those things on the line. I appreciate it. No, and first of all, it's a Florida State game. Don't matter if you're both 0-10. You got to go line up and play 0-11, whatever you are. I mean, this is one of the reasons you come to Florida State to play a tremendous rivalry. It was done an outstanding job with those guys. They've had an outstanding season. I mean, they're 10-1, we're 9-2, and that's the way Florida State should be. You should be back in the teams are in that top 10 significant game, and had a lot of implications. They're going on to play an SEC championship game, have a chance for a big goal. We can win that game and have a chance to be on New Year's Day or BCS or whatever they call it. They playoff bowls and all that stuff. There's a lot of implications. A 10-win season, double-digit wins. There's so much to play for. But it's Florida State, and if that's not enough, then we got problems. But they have an outstanding program, have tremendous respect for them, and that's one of the toughest places in ball to play. It's a hard place to get down there too, but our kids will win. We have to get them ready, get up to the challenge, and be ready to play. But that's one of the reasons you come to Florida State to play in that game.
You said it better than I did.
Jimbo, you said you wanted the players to prove they deserve to wear the black uniforms. How did they do that during this week?
Okay, they practiced as well. We practiced well. We really did. We practiced well. After that opening kickoff, I was ready to burn them. But, that's part of it. Those kids, they enjoy those things. They like them, and all that. And I'm a traditionalist. You know that. I really am. I wouldn't care if we wore the uniforms in 1942. Everybody stayed the same all the way up through. That's just the way I am. But, I like those kids. They play well. They deserve it. They practice them. And, it's something we have here. So.
Do they ask like every week? Or how does that?
They used to. After a while, getting told no. Look on my face. But they like all that stuff. It's just, the modernization of kids today. But, I think that's great, but I think, we got to be careful. It's not about the uniform. That's what I keep trying to tell them, but, it's what it is.
Jimbo, you mentioned senior day and kind of the emotions that go into that. Was that maybe a part of the reason for a slow start? Was that something guys said?
No, Kermit was a junior. He wasn't emotional. He just said he tried to stiff arm the guy. I said, your arms are 3.5 inches long, so why would you even try to stiff arm somebody? The guy knocked it out. Now I was giving him a hard time about it because he is shorter than me. You might have to paper too. All right, but But no, it wasn't. It just a freak play. I mean, he made a great return. The guy popped the ball out, you know. But again, that's a good football team. I mean, I said that, guys, don't come into these games thinking. I mean, you look at there was another upset today of an FCS school against a major Division I school. I mean, guys, those are good football. And those teams are used to winning. They come in there and play, and they do a great job now. And they're not coming in here for a paycheck. They're coming in to play football. And it's a well-coached, very good football team. And I knew they would battle us. And we finally got control of it. But I mean, I knew they would battle.
With that in mind, were you pleased with the efficiency you guys played with?
I did, especially offensively, once we got going. I mean, we scored 8 drives in a row, something like that, or I maybe Ryan had a chance to buzz out what was in my head there. And defensively, then we started getting control of the game, keeping the edge, give up some edge stuff there for a while. But they're a difficult team with all the speed sweeps and the quarterback runs, and that stuff's not easy now. I mean, it's not easy.
It's also the young guys in there in the second half. A lot of the young guys. Anybody flashing?
Some of those defensive guys jumped out there at me, some of those young linebackers and DBs. Nooney did. You know, I mean, he had opportunities. I mean, Auden Tate and I gotta say 5 of those guys, Phillips, those guys are all, you know, 11 got a knee ball in a little bit, got a bone bruise, but couldn't get in there. But those guys are all going to be good players. Jock Webb did a nice job in the game. You know, all those guys, I mean, they seem to jump out there.
How's Hoskins feeling?
Sore. I don't know. We'll have to reevaluate. I mean, you got to look like an MCL or something with me right there.
As far as the quickness of some of those drives you had, was that something you kind of saw coming in practice, or was it kind of the tempo of the game that you think allowed?
Tempo of the game. I mean, we got field position at times. We finally, you know, getting that field position battle. That's what people don't understand. Now we've started to control that field position battle the last 3 or 4 or 5 games a lot better than we did before, starting back so much and easier to score points. And then we hit the big strikes. So when they blitzed and they did come at us, we were able to find the holes, and our guys were able to finish. And Sean, like I said, stood in there on a couple of blitzes and took shots. And you know, that's somebody's band's going to play, their band or your band, and he was able to do that.
Well, it's keeping with the efficiency. It seems like there was only one false start penalty on the offensive line today.
I'm gonna beat on every piece of wood I can.
A, what's changed in the last week, and B, do you think this is maybe a sign of things?
I threatened him. I threatened him. No, it is. I mean, I have. No, I'm not joking. I did. No, but I mean, it's just a matter of just getting comfortable and getting confident and just growing, and you know, and it's part of it. And you know, I did have a hidden fit one day. But that's not why. But those kids, they don't do it on purpose. It's just anxious. We had one today. Hopefully we'll cut it down to them.
Have you had the same starting 5 a couple weeks in a row? You've been changing it so much. How much does that play into just the
It does. Continuity, communication, you know, all those types of things really does make a difference. And you know, guys, you know, and when you get used to playing, and you're the same guy in there too, because you don't play for 2 or 3 weeks, all right, you get back in there. Well, you're just, I don't care if you played before. Sometimes you're still antsy till you work your way back into it, or then you're a new guy in there. You know what I mean? It just, all that does matter, but it's not an excuse. You still can't let it happen.
Alvin leaves the game, comes back in. Is he ever surprised with his pain
No,
tolerance?
he said the way it fell on. He said it was just weird. He said no, it didn't hurt. Just the way that, you know, the guy fell on him. What do you end up with? I don't even know what he had.
100.
Yeah, 106.
106.
15. 2 touchdowns. That's good. That's good. I mean, for him, that's. I mean, but I mean, he does. I mean, he just tell me. I said, "Are you done?" I mean, he said, and they come back and said, "No, he's okay." Just it is what it is.
Did you happy to get JJ in a little bit?
I'm really happy. We did get him in the game. We want to get him in there. Everett had a back was the way to get him loose. I tell you, when you don't play on sideline and getting that loose back, you know. Same thing with 26. Vickers was going to play, and he's had some back issues, and he couldn't get him loose to get him back in the game. That's what happened with him. We wanted to get him in the game, but then we got Everett loosened up, and he got in and did a real nice job playing the game. But JJ looked really sharp last night. He took a drive down, had a nice 3rd down pickup, hit a nice seam right in there, and made some good throws. And I liked a couple of throws he made to goal. You know, the interference, he threw that ball with conviction in that red zone, right where it should be, and tried to make the throws, and has a chance to be a good player now. Very, very happy for him.
Is that something that you wanted to do today, was make sure you get JJ in and give us some time?
No, I didn't. Here's as crazy as it sounds. People think, well, I don't ever think that way. I mean, I want the starters in, we win the game. I don't want to be the guy on Sports Center who loses games is supposed to win. I mean, I'm saying, and I joke about that, but I don't ever think of, we got to get this guy in, get this guy in, get this guy. I don't think that way. I mean, we get opportunities to, I want to do it. We have a plan every week that we talk about how we're going to play the players if this gets ahead. But we do that every week. But I treat this game just like we play Clemson. Exactly the same way.
Defensively, after the first couple of drives, seemed to really zero in on them. What was the kind of key?
Well, I think we took some of the easy throws away. They motioned, did a couple little things there, and got some easy throws and got momentum and hit a screen, and it had a nice little handed a power pass off like they were running that ball and threw it. I mean, they're a well-coached team. They had a nice little scheme coming in and took, got the ball moving, and our kids made the adjustments. Charlie did a nice job of adjusting.
Happy to see Brutus and Hunter both come up with turnovers.
Yes, I was. I mean, senior days is appropriate. Those guys have been through a lot and done a lot for this program.
How was it to see Colton get his first touchdown?
That was awesome. We called that bell and he popped in, and the guys were extremely excited, you know, on the goal line, you know, down there for him, the guys on the sideline. That was great. He's done a nice job here.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about Derwin James? Nine tackles in the first half. How much of a case do you think that he has for defensive ACC Rookie of the Year?
Be a pretty good one. I don't know who else is out there. I don't know if anybody else would have a better one. You know, the guy that rivals him probably stand right there in front of him with a 3-point stand. Number 9. Josh Sweaty's had a heck of a year. I mean, you don't always get him in numbers because those guys flash, but he's been there. But Derwin's been spectacular. And a couple, actually, in that game earlier today, a couple of those throws, he should have squeezed down and made a couple little tighter throws. He gave up a little bit of space. And then the thing about him, that stuff, he makes mistakes, or not mistakes, I say that, just to be down there. He'll make those adjustments. Man, he's just such a smart football player, man. I mean, that guy, those two guys, both of them are phenomenal, but Derwin is a very, 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 very special player. And, I mean, I don't know who else is in it, and I can't vote for your own players, but I would.
Anybody know?
Two more.
Florida State Florida is always a big game, but the fact the records this year, both teams are having great years, is it kind of think it ends up a little bit?
Yeah, I think it definitely does because of bowl implications, what's going on, where you can end up. I mean, they still got a shot to work through in the playoff situation. I mean, that's a great win against us. They got Alabama coming up. I think it's Alabama won that side. Am I right? I mean, on that side, I mean, everything is going on. So they got a lot to play for. We got a lot to play for. 10-win season, going to a major is it playoff bowl game now. Is that what they call it? New Year's Six. Okay, I'm get that where to go. All right, New Year's Six in those games. But I mean, all those things, and that's what that game should be. That's what that game should be.
All right, we good?
Thank y'all.